And Ken Kreitzer, Cam Vets Media. I had a chance to talk with Army Offensive Coordinator Cody Worley. And Cody, just thoughts about the UTSA game. It was a tough fight. You did really well on fourth down conversions in the game, and it seemed like you were able to balance the distribution of the ball a little more, especially Noah Short had 14 touches and Kanye 7. Tyrell was just with us 5, and you got 10 pass completions.
Yeah, it was going into the game. I knew that they would have a change-up and do something different. They've done something different against us every year, and they made it. They stacked the box and made it very difficult to really establish some things. So we had to rely on other aspects, and guys made plays. And like you said, the fourth down conversions on the first drive. When you have 17 opportunities to convert and move the chains, and we got 8 on third down and 4 on fourth down. So 12 of the 17 opportunities to convert, we did. So that, and guys made plays. Some of those were 3rd and 11, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 9, situations that we don't want to be in, and we got ourselves in trouble on early downs, which is uncharacteristic and something that we've got to get corrected, obviously. But to see guys be able to make plays and put us in positions to go for it on fourth down and get those opportunities, the biggest disappointment was, we run the quarterback sneak on the 1 yard line, and it wasn't convincing enough. They couldn't see the ball. It wasn't convincing enough that he was in the end zone. And we've got to be convincing enough so we don't put it in their hands. And then we jump off sides on the very next play, and we have to settle for a field goal. And then at the end of the game, we have an opportunity to put it away. And we had 3 plays where we didn't gain enough yards to help Trey out on the 47-yard field goal, which really would have put the game an 8-point lead and at the end of the game. Unfortunately, defense made a big play at the end, but it was difficult, and guys found a way, and it was gritty, and they made plays, and they found ways to make plays in the pass game. But it's some things that we've got to get corrected this week if we want to have a chance against Tulane.
I guess you've had 2 really physical games in a row. All games are physical, but Notre Dame and UTSA in particular. And then going into this one, how is your offensive line holding up as far as just handling those 2 physical games, playing a 3rd game in a row?
Yeah, it's that time of year. Nobody's 100%. Nobody we're playing is 100% either. So, we're fortunate enough to be in a position where we still have a majority of our starters that are healthy, and knock on wood. But, those guys came out of the game, and it was a solid performance, and they're coming along, and we'll have a huge challenge this week with a Tulane defense who has been one of the tops all year. You have a ton of respect for that, for the coaching staff. Greg Gasparotto is the defensive coordinator, played at Wofford, played under Coach Woody, was here for a season. So the familiarity and the defensive scheme and some of those things, we understand. But they have a really talented unit, and they're really good against the run. They've been really good all year, with the exception of the last game against Memphis. Memphis got after them a little bit at times, but that's the only blemish on the record outside of the 2 Power 4 teams. So they're a really, really, really good defensive unit from top to bottom, and they have been all year. So we got a tremendous challenge this week on a short week.
And we talked a little bit this afternoon with their head coach, John Summerall, and he had been at Troy, the head coach, very successful, and was here, played Army twice, won here 19-0 last year. Do you see similarities in his team at Tulane that he brought over from Troy?
Very similar. You see the culture, you see what they're trying to do. They're very similar to us in terms of playing complementary football, and he's a defensive guy. They have one of the best rushers in the conference. At one point, they were beating us in time of possession. So they stay on the field. They convert on 3rd downs on offense. They're very effective and efficient. And then on the defensive side of the ball is where they hang their hat. And he's done a phenomenal job everywhere he's been. And the Troy defense last year was one of the best defensive units that we played all season. And even dating back to 2022, when we played at their place, it ended in 10-9. They had a tremendous defense that year. So we know what we're facing. And, I've got a ton of respect for them. I've got a ton of respect for Coach Summerall. And and Coach Gasparotto and really a lot of guys on that staff. But they're a tremendous defensive unit, and we've got our hands cut. You know, it's the work that we've got to put in this year. We got our hands full. Or this week.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Go to Ken.
Cody, Ken McMillan from the Record.
Hey, Ken, how are you?
Good, buddy. Hey, Cody, a lot of credit has to go to Notre Dame and UTSA's defense for how they defensed you guys. But you were mentioning earlier that you got to clean up a few things. Can you give sort of an indication of what may have been going wrong on your half of the field?
Yeah, I think at times, you know, we had some missed assignments. We had this particular game, we had the most missed assignments that we've had all season. And some of that is, you know, I attribute to them. And, you know, they came out in a different defensive structure. It was a little bit of a hybrid. And at times that threw us off. And we were able to make adjustments in the game that helped us. But we had too many missed assignments on the perimeter. You know, and when you look at it, they wanted, you could tell in the secondary, I mean, they were double supporting. That's why we dropped back and threw it 22 times. You know, so it's when they're double supporting the run on the secondary, when you get the ball pitched, you know, it makes it very difficult. So, you know, it like other opponents have tried and have done, you know, they try to make you beat them left-handed, so to speak. You know, we know that Army's going to try to run the football and establish that and do those things. But, you know, when you set your defensive structure the way that they did, you know, it forced us out of our comfort zone, so to speak. And, you know, we had to do what we had to do, you know, to win that game and move the ball. And, you know, when you have over 400 yards of offense against as talented of a defensive unit that we've played all year, with the exception of Notre Dame, they have been playing phenomenal defense over the course of the last few weeks, playing their best football. And it showed up, and they played really, really well. I thought they were, you know, for the circumstances, they played really well and met the challenge. And fortunately, we were able to make enough plays to win the game.
Cody, what's the secret to success when you're third and long and then obviously fourth down? Because you've been facing that a lot the last 2 weeks. Notre Dame obviously very tough, but you guys found some solutions on Saturday.
Yeah, you know, it's a situation we don't want to be in. I think we all understand that. We've got to be way more efficient on first and second down to prevent from being in third and long. But, you know, we were able to do some things and make plays on third down that gave us an opportunity with the analytics to go for it on fourth down. And that's been the recipe all year and how we'll continue. That's how we operate. Try to get to a manageable fourth down number and see if you can convert. And fortunately, we were able to convert on 4 out of 5. You know, wish we would have been 5 out of 5. But, you know, guys made plays when it mattered most. And the most disappointing things were the glaring things, the jumping off sides on the 1 yard line. You know, that's a huge mistake. The fumble right before the half is uncharacteristic. You know, fortunately, we were able to get it back and then put points on the board before half with a short field and get that opportunity to kick a field goal. Those points were invaluable at the end. You know, but there's a lot that we could have done better and needed to do better. But fortunately, we made enough plays and scored enough points to win.
And two guys who really kind of opened it up for you, thank goodness, were Noah Short and Casey Reynolds. Can you just sort of talk about how big their contributions were Saturday?
Yeah, big time plays. You know, and Casey's been clutch all year. You know, and he made a huge third down conversion on the sideline on a back shoulder throw. Made some big plays down the field and some play actions. You know, so in a critical third down, he had 2 critical third down conversions on 3rd and 9 and 3rd and 11. You know, and Noah Short had 16 touches on the day, you know, 14 carries and 2 big catches, 1 fourth down conversion, and then had the big post route that set up points on that drive. So, you know, those guys were critical playmakers in the game, and those were the guys that we needed in those moments, you know, and it was good to. And I'll be honest, I haven't won many games in our offense where you drop back and throw it 22 times. Typically, that means you're chasing points, or you're behind, or you're in situations you don't want to be in. And fortunately, we were able to get ourselves out of some trouble on Saturday, but we can't live that way. You know, and that's what I told the guys. You know, fortunately, we made enough plays and played really well, complimentary football, had the ball for 41 minutes, and you know, the defense made critical plays in critical times and set us up, and we were able to make enough plays to win. But we can't live in those situations, that's for sure.
Hey, maybe you discovered some hidden coaching talents in yourself.
Yeah, that's stressful. Anytime you see 3rd and 8 plus, that's stressful. And our guys didn't flinch, and we've been working on things all year, and you break it out, and they made enough plays, and I was proud of them, proud of the effort. That's a really good opponent that we just played, that was playing their best football that they've played all year, and we knew it was going to be challenged. That team is every year it's a dogfight. It's become a little bit of a rivalry, to be honest. But I tip my hat to them, but we made enough plays in that game to find a way.
And last thing, I know we talk about Bryson every week, but can you give us a summation of where he stands right now? The fact that, such success early on, had some struggles, came back from the injury. Just sum up where he's at right now and how important he is to these next 2-3 games.
Yeah, he's played exceptional. It's even in every game this year, he's played exceptional. And obviously the blemish on the record, he played really well at times and gave us a shot in that game. But just the grit, the determination, the toughness, the things that he brings to the table week in, week out, and just his overall execution of the offense and the way he handles himself on the sideline on game day, and he's been absolutely exceptional. And we're going to need him to be for the remainder of the season, and we're going to need him to come up big this week. That's for sure.
Thanks, Cody.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Sal.
Hey, Cody, Sal from Black Eyed Nation. How are you?
I'm great, Sal. How are you?
Good, thanks. How does the playing this game at home kind of help the team and help the coaching staff in earning that home game at Mikey, would you say?
In a lot of ways, it's huge. Just to be able to host a conference championship game this late in the year and play in a meaningful game. We have at least 3 championship games that we're going to play for. And to be in a conference championship game at Mikey Stadium is huge for our kids. Especially on a short week. They played on Friday night. We finished up on Saturday afternoon. So playing a short week, playing on Friday night is huge to be able to play at home. Can avoid the travel. And so it's huge in a lot of ways. Logistically, and for our players to be able to play again at Mikey Stadium. And it's going to be 10-degree wind chill, I hear, or 15 degrees or whatever it is, which is great. That's what we want in the home field advantage.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about, the weather being maybe a little colder and the run game maybe getting a chance to kick in a little bit. But, probably the elements don't really factor in too much, do they? Or
typically they don't, but I just watched the Buffalo Bills play the San Francisco 49ers, and it affected them. So, our guys, whether it's in the heat in Florida Atlantic, whether it's in freezing temperatures, our guys are doing hard things all the time here. And I don't think it'll affect Tulane. I think those guys are, it's going to be the coldest game they played in. UTSA is obviously the coldest game they played in this past week. But they'll be prepared, and Coach Summerall and those guys will have them prepared. But there's some mental things that you got to go through playing in a game where it's that cold, and hopefully it doesn't affect our team.
Yeah. Did anything, watching the Memphis game against Tulane, anything they did maybe can translate for you guys, or did you see anything that they did that worked well?
Well, their 2 running backs are as good as I've seen. Number 2, and then the kid who just got the American Player of the Week. I can't pronounce his last name, but they're unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And they got a receiver, Rock, phenomenal, a 4th-year starter at quarterback. So not a lot to take away, to be honest. Those kids were, in every way, shape, and form different. Memphis is different. So, it'll be a tremendous challenge for us.
Got the last one, Liam Forner, a guy who's really helped you out in the blocking game, running game, and he comes up with that big catch on Saturday. Can you just talk about, him coming through like that and what he's meant to the offense?
It's awesome for him to make that play, contested catch. That's his first catch of the year. And it's such a huge play. And I was just really disappointed we weren't able to punch it in the box after the catch, So, for him and what he's meant to us in this unit and this team and how selfless he is, and, we call him the assassin, and he's an assassin every Saturday, and he prides himself on that. And, he can make plays in the pass game, and fortunately we were able to see that, and defenses were able to see that, and he was able to make a big play when his number was called, and I'm really proud of him.
Yeah, appreciate it, Cody. Good luck on Friday.
Yeah, thank you.